Okay. Okay, you have heard it. And I will start actually the webinar. So, can you see my screen, I think? Yes? Okay, perfect. So today, actually, we are going to talk about disability in art. First of all, okay, this actually is part of, a series. It is part of MOVE&ACT, which is a European project, which actually combined, new technologies with art, of course. So one of the working packages, one of the results actually that we have to produce are related to these webinars. So, okay. So I will move on. This is actually the partnership. That's why we actually started to talk a little bit in Greek before. So sorry about that. And we have, as you can see, partners from Poland, from Spain, from Italy, from Lithuania. So I will start actually. I know that you are excited. I am excited too. We are going to talk about disability in art. But first, I will show you what I want to do. Actually, I'm very sorry. I'm Sofia Mastrococo and I represent my artist. And I am so deep into the art. And also my friends also are always making fun of me that I really like inclusion, I really like disability and so on. So what I would like to ask you, if it's possible, is to go to menti.com and use this code you can see with all these big letters, and write a word which defines the term disability for you. I will now stop sharing and I will change the screens, and I will share with you again the code and also the link in order to to go there and actually provide me with an answer. Okay. So go to www.menti.com and use the code 12, 44, 39, and 16 in order to write a word which defines the term disability for you. I will stop sharing in order to change screens. Just bear with me for a while. I will also write here, I will also write to you where to go and what to do. So here it is. I shared, okay, perfect. So I will share again my screen. Okay. You are super quick, actually. So let me check. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see.
You can see the, no, probably, just let me. You can see the word cloud or not? Yeah, I think so, right? Okay, perfect. So let's see what actually you have. Okay. So we have here limit, special, fear, limit, stillness, unable, wrong, interaction, new perspective, invalid. Okay, wrong, actually. Okay, new perspective. I just have only 17 answers and I need more if it's possible. Legless, okay. Probably because it's related actually to the, to the artwork, okay. Non-conformity, different body experience, limits. As you can see, since we are actually creating a word cloud, the word limit means that actually is used by more people. 21 answers. I will move on. Please, 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 just write a word about that. I will wait a little bit. So some of you actually wrote difficulties, special, again, inspiration, okay, limits, help, capacity, new perspective. Can somebody of you just, okay, limits again, you can see that limits, it's actually the principal word that you use about that. Different worldview, okay, interaction, again, different in many different actually phrases and expression and terms, non-conformity. Can I ask you gently if someone of you wants actually to comment on the word that you choose, that you have chosen? Is there somebody who wants actually, to comment? Compassion, inspiration, okay.
I decided to put special. Hi, Sophia.
Hi,
First of
Chiara.
all,
Yeah.
I decided to put special because I think that they have special characteristics. So this is the reason why I decided to put special.
Okay. Who wrote actually limits? If it's possible, to even on the chat, if you want, to comment on that. Nobody.
Well,
Perfect.
I can
Thank you.
comment on my word. So I was the one who said inspiration, and I said that because, well, I think disabled people usually are stereotyped, and well, they're mostly seen as objects of pity, and I see them as inspirational because they still find a way to, well, live their life with their disabilities, and I think that is, well, very inspirational.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. I would kindly again ask you, because I cannot see, because you are a lot of actually, if you can just tell me your name when while you are speaking and commenting, if it's possible. So thank you so much actually. Okay, I will stop sharing actually this one, and I will go back. I have something here. I wrote condition. Okay, perfect. It's a human condition, like being tall or being clever. Perfect. It's just it just has some consequences, usually considered bad due to the unprepared society. Oh, we are in the, okay, perfect. We are I think we are in the right path, to be honest. Okay, perfect. I don't want actually to influence you by the beginning, but we will see. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for that. I'm going actually, to move on and okay, perfect. What I will ask you again to do now, I think that you can see my screen, right? Again. I just checked, your opinion about disability, and it's actually a very good way, if I may say, in order to understand how, if we are literate or not, and actually how we can interpret disability, in a project, in an art, in an artwork. What does it mean for us, and why actually it's so important to actually to get to know what really is happening as regard, the evaluation of the art, the evaluation of the artwork, and so on. So what I will ask you now, it's very, very simple. If you have a pen and, a piece of paper, or you can just take some notes and give your, take the score by using your, I don't know, your mobile, or for example, your, I don't know, your computer. We will do a short quiz in order to actually to determine your disability literacy. We thought actually it would be fun to give you a chance to rate your own awareness. So in every correct answer that we will see, you have to give yourself 1 point for each actually, correct answer. So I will move on with the first question. Tell me if you are ready. You can, clap your hand, raise your hand, have some interaction from your part. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Perfect. 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 Is it okay? Ah, I'm sorry. Yes, perfect. Okay. So let's see. The first question. Which of the following do you find most inspiring? A boy with learning disabilities scoring a touchdown in football after two rival teams decide together they will allow this to happen. A woman rising from her wheelchair to take a few steps across a stage. Learning that over 100 people with disabilities occupied a government building to demand their civil rights and ultimately got what they wanted. None of the above. Just write on the chat the correct answer. According to you, eh? Let's see actually how we cannot understand disability in art, to be honest, if we don't know how literate we are as far as disability is concerned. So I will wait a little bit. If you have any questions, queries, if you don't understand the question, just write to me and tell me which of the following do you think is the most inspiring? Okay, I see some answers. C, I see C, okay, C. Okay, nice. C again, perfect. B, okay, B. Okay, I will wait. Remember, which is the most inspiring for you? I will wait. Roxanne, D, C, Katerina, okay, A. Okay, Neringa, can you tell us why it's actually the first question the most inspiring for you? Can you comment on that? Or Katerina Traizzi, why you chose D? C, I'm sorry.
Because I think when many people try to accomplish something, they have a better result.
Okay, perfect. And Irina, why you chose B? Also, Nicoletta.
I'm not sure whether my microphone is working. Can you hear me?
Yeah, of course. Crystal clear.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, because I think if a person who has probably, some, I don't know, some restrictions in he or her, in this case, her body, and does this effort, so it's inspiring for us who have even more capabilities not to give up.
Okay. I don't know. Are you ready for the correct answer? Are you ready actually, to take your score? Let's see the correct answer. The correct answer is C, as the majority of you actually answered. Most inspiration focus on well-meaning people who help the less fortunate, or on disabled people who engage in heroic struggles to be as non-disabled as possible. So, to be honest, the second answer, as you can understand, is in compliance with the mentality that we have to have as non-disabled as possible. So it's not B, it's not the correct answer, or A. Fighting for disability rights is rarely presented as something anyone should learn from and emulate. So here's to do actually, disability rights are human rights. We are not actually trying to, to change people with disabilities, but to understand their rights. And also, as you can understand, to help them actually demand their civil rights and get what they want. Let's move to the second question. Okay. Second question. When I hear someone being corrected for not using person first language, for example, a person with autism, a person with a mobility impairment, a person who is blind, Nod in agreement, knowing that person first language is a sign that somebody gets it about disability. B, blush for the person being reprimanded, wonder how many other ways I'm blowing it, then resolve that it's better to keep quiet than rather than try only to get it wrong. C, I think, wow, this is complicated. I wonder if in a future world, when disability is less stigmatized, we will have come up with better terms. D, it is important to minimize the disability because it's nothing to be proud of. I will give you, I know they're complicated questions, but in that way you will understand actually why disability or people with disabilities were represented in a certain way in art. So let's see. Don't be shy. A, okay. I see A. Somebody else? Come on, come on. A again from Chiara, A from Simona, okay. C from Olivia. Simona, do you want to, I don't know, if it's possible, do you want to comment on that? Or Olivia? A from Nicoletta.
So when I marked C, what I think is that, you know, it would be wonderful if, let's say, people learned how to speak a sign. And but now it's really rare that anyone actually knows how to sign. And it would be amazing like if we learned at least basics at school, or maybe in any other language accessible to people with disabilities. But just sign language as an example. I've been to an Erasmus where I learned some basics of sign, but you know, it's just enough to ask for directions or ask what's someone's name, but it's not much. And I think it would be amazing if in the future we could actually learn those things as a basic knowledge at school.
Actually, to be honest, you are right, Olivia. So person first language, yes, originally was originally promoted to focus on human beings rather than medical condition. But this is now appears as a remnant from an era before disability identity and pride, when disability could only be understood as an insult. Also, person first language forces people to write in ways that make it awkward and politically correct, shutting down open conversation. That means that we try actually to be, you know, just in theory politically correct, and we don't actually, you know, try to get disability less stigmatized. So alternating between people first language and disability first language adds variety and opens the door for more complex thinking around disability. So in order just to be, to try to be political correct, this is, as you can understand, a more activist position. Let's try actually to, you remember the first question, let's try to be, if I may say, more practically correct. Okay. So did you actually write down your score till now? Just hands up if it's possible, just to know. You have to actually to have, to give yourself one score for each. Okay, okay. No, don't tell it yet. Don't tell it yet. Perfect, perfect, Arimas. Thank you so much for being honest. Let's go to the third question. When I see a story about a service animal in the media, I put it on Facebook and forward it and read to people I know who might be having a bad day. Read to determine if there is something in the story that I don't expect, then add my own comments. Wonder how blind people clean up their dog's poo. Dream of turning it into a script for TV. What would you do? You know what we do actually with all these, you know, Facebook news stories that arrive. Nicoletta, do you want to comment or? Think about it. Tell me.
I'm Nicoletta. What is a service animal?
Service animal is, for example, you know, the dogs actually that are helping blind people.
Ah, all right. Thank you.
What do you think? Which is the correct answer? B, okay, Roxanne. D, Marta, okay. Marta probably is, you know, B, C, I see. Okay, B, okay.
B.
Okay. To be honest, the majority of you, okay, B, Nicoletta, okay, perfect. You are right, actually. The correct one is B. Most stories related to service animals tend to be tried and formulaic. I'm sorry. Too often the animals come off as sweet heroes, helping the otherwise incompetent, homeless, disabled person, as if the animals runs the show. So what we have to do, we have to explore other options. Please switch on your if it's possible, your audio. So we have to explore other options for celebrating this important actually mobility. Okay. I will move on again. Fourth question. I believe the recipient of the compliment, I never think of you as disabled, should be flattered, grateful, curious what such a statement reveals about how the flatterer thinks about disability, sharing the compliment with the media. What do you think? Okay, Roxanne. Okay. Marta, okay. Aurimas, can you tell me why actually I should be grateful if I receive this compliment by you? Do you, or somebody else, Marta, do you want to comment on that? Hmm?
I said C because I think it's something that you, I don't know how to call it, but you should not try to conceal.
Exactly, exactly. I think that also Auri must send us a comment because they look past my disability and see me as a fellow man. Aurimas, I really like you know, your approach, but to be honest, this has to be a fact from the beginning. So actually, my disability, to be honest, does not, you know, define me as a person. So I don't actually should be grateful, thinking that never thinking of me as disabled. First of all, the most important thing is to actually, you know, think how I feel about disability. If I think that I am a person with disability, I'm a person that, for example, if I'm deaf, I'm part of, you know, of a linguistic minority and so on. So the correct answer is C. Such a compliment, just to let you know, comes from a place of understanding disability only as a deficit or a problem. If people with disability faced less stigma, focus might shift to how they found ingenious ways of doing things and having unique perspective on the world. I will move on. There are just 2 questions left. I believe finding a cure for disability is a sign of just how far science and medicine have come. A worthy use of resources, even though the goal seems hard to reach. An impossible pursuit, because it assumes that everyone agrees on what it means to cure a disability or even what a disability is in the first place. And D is right around the corner. What do you think about that? Roxanne, C, okay. Somebody else? Don't be shy and don't be afraid. It's just, an open question to see how we are. A, okay, Nicoletta, okay. B, Aurimas, okay. C, Enya, okay. C, okay. Enya, do you want to comment on that? Or somebody who wrote, or Elena? Or is somebody who wants to comment on, their answers? Lucia? Okay, I will say, I will.
Okay,
Yes, tell me. Move on, please.
okay, I'll try. My English is not the best. I vote C because just the concept of disability is changing into the years, so no sense just cure disability. That means anything. We can just think about the mental disability. Even homosexuality was a disease until a few years ago, so
Of course. Actually, you are right. Perfect. You are activists, eh? Most of you. So curing most adverse condition remains a long ways off, even though there have been considerable funding. So we have improvements such as reducing pain, allowing for greater functioning and participation, as well as increasing quality of life, which are essential. But why doesn't cure talk address non-medical problems like stigma, architectural barriers, and limited financial resources? So instead, actually, to cure something, why we don't cure the stigma, the architectural barriers, the limited financial resources? And besides, a surprisingly large number of people with disabilities are quite happy with who they are and may not want to be cured. Too often, cure is defined without significant input from people with disabilities themselves. Okay. No worries, Enya, no worries. So let's go to the last question. Which is more likely to accompany disability? This has to do, actually, to be honest, with what we are going actually to find out now. Is the poverty and unemployment rate more than double than a non-disabled people? Low expectation, all the above? Which is the correct answer? Roxanne, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I voted D because because most of the time the three of those are connected, because low expectations most of the time lead to unemployment, and unemployment, of course, leads to poverty.
Of course. So actually, this is the correct question. I wanted to ask you, I don't know, which is your score? If you want to comment on that, if you want, it's not mandatory. Who answered all the 6 questions correctly? Or the 4? Is somebody who answered all the questions? Ah, I only scored 2, okay. The others? Wow, Roxanne, okay, I only answered the last one correctly. Okay, let's see, so the scores. So those who answer from, correctly 4 to 6 questions, you are at ninja awareness disability, okay. Those with 3, if you are asked to speak at an awareness event, say yes, and please invite someone whose ideas you respect on disability to join on stage. Then, 2, you are bordering on disability literate and could benefit from a different kind of special aid to develop your thinking. 1 or 0, please don't despair, for there is hope as products of society that promotes limited ideas of disability and disabled people. Most of us started here too, okay? So good job, all of you. And now we will go to art. If we don't have, a clear idea about disability, we cannot understand actually, how disability was represented in art. So let's start. I will try, to show you the historical representation of disability in art history. So let's see. What does the classical words preference for idealism tell us about their ideology? Let's see. Here we can see a woman, which actually, you can see is without her arms. And you can see actually is one of the rare sculptures that we have. Why? Because unfortunately, the main idea was, first of all, that men were the mostly highly evolved beings and that women were an evolutionary step below, representing, as you can understand, the first step along the road to deformity. And then, unfortunately, I'm very sorry, I'm also Greek, but Aristotle, for example, recommended euthanasia for deformed children, writing, "Let there be a law that no deformed child shall live." So actually, I don't know if you know the story behind this statue. Do you know it? Is somebody who knows the story? Let's see. No. Okay, not at all. Okay, perfect. So I will tell you. If you are going to visit us in Athens, you will find it in ancient Agora. She was one of the best, actually, to be honest, farmers, even if she was a woman. She was an old one. She wasn't married. And what happened? Actually, her father decided to let her leave. And actually, she was one, to be honest, of one of the kind, because first of all, she was a woman. Secondly, she was old enough. And then she was actually born without hands, as you can see, without arms. And she was one of the best actually in negotiation in ancient Agora in Greece. When you will visit Greece, it will be so nice to actually to go and visit and stand in front of this statue. And she was actually famous as the best negotiator in the ancient Agora because she was actually so selective as regards her clients, and she didn't wanted, to sell her fruits to everybody, but only for those who actually expressed respect on her. So as you can understand, she is one of the most important figures that we have in Greece, and we have to be honest, proud of it, since in the classical world, as you can understand, unfortunately, people with disabilities were not permitted to live or to participate in the daily life. So when you will visit Greece, just go to ancient Agora, which is in Athens, and stand in front of this statue, because actually she was one of the first activists, one actually who, with her behavior, promoted the disability rights, but I'm talking about centuries ago. Okay, so I will move on. So Christianity. As you can understand, the rise of Christianity led to more depiction of people with disabilities because in the New Testament, Jesus is frequently credited with showing kindness and performing miracles to cure people who were lame, blind, or otherwise disabled. These miracles were often depicted in art. For example, in El Greco's The Miracle of Christ healing the blind, and the mosaic at Monreale Cathedral at Palermo, which shows Jesus healing lepers. Here is actually of El Greco, as you can see. The painting, you can see that actually here Jesus, what he's doing is healing the blind. In that way, give him back the normality by showing kindness and performing miracles to cure people who otherwise will not be accepted by the society. This is actually, as you can understand, the, if I may say, the definition and actually the opinion that they had regarding people with disabilities, that had to be cured in order to be normalized. Let's move on, and I will ask you to do something. We have here two actually artworks. The first one, as you can see, is of Rembrandt, which is called Peter and John healing the cripple at the gate of the temple. And the other one on your right is of Goya, beggars who get around on their own in Bordeaux. What we have to do is, if it's possible, to list the similarities and the differences, and what sort of ideas and stereotypes about people with disabilities do this representation construct, and which are the emotion that they evoke. So who wants actually to, to give us a short description about Rembrandt painting? How the cripple is represented here? What are the, Peter and John are doing? Who wants to comment on that? Just even a short comment. Don't be afraid. Somebody, what do you think?
Well,
Yeah.
I can comment. Well, in the painting, I see they are, well, surrounding the disabled person that is shown. And, well, they don't seem very happy. Well, they seem like they're looking at him like it's a dog or an animal, like it's something different. They're not looking at him like he's a human.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't seem like they want to help him.
Exactly.
It seems like they want to get rid of him.
Exactly. Exactly.
And probably the disabled person is feeling like fear or just, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it.
Yes, because
But
they were always undermined. You can see, or they were asking, for example, for money in order to survive, or you can see the title of my presentation, Sin or Divine Purpose. The majority of them, especially in the Rembrandt's, if I may say, period, they were considered as sinners. They were punished by being disabled because they were sinners, or in fewer cases, they are disabled because it's like a divine purpose, as we do now. Actually, you remember, I don't know, we use that they have special abilities, that they have special gifts, special competencies. As you can see, this comes long way ago, that people with disabilities, or they were senior, or probably, some of their parents, they have, I don't know, they didn't, for example, they gave birth while being, I don't know, while not being young anymore. Or, for example, if we have, as you can understand, somebody, please switch off your microphone if it's possible. And as you can understand, for example, some of us till today, if we see that a person with a disability is competent, we say that they have special competencies, they have special gifts, and so on. On the other, who wants to comment the Goya painting? Beggars who get around on their own in Bordeaux. Who wants to comment on that? Hmm? If it's possible, I'm sorry, to switch off, Tiana, your microphone, if it's possible. Yeah, is somebody who wants to comment on that? Piñeña, please switch off your microphone.
Sophia, just mute them all. You have the.
I don't
this
have, to be
button.
honest, this one. I don't know why.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yes, that's why I asked. I don't have it because Stelios didn't give me. Yeah, I don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah. Is somebody who wants actually to comment on Goya? Here you can see, I'm sorry, here you can see that Goya, to be honest, is again, they are representing as, you know, they are dirty, they are beggars, what they have to do or beg in order to survive, or actually, you know, to be part of, you know, to be part of, if I may say, of the excluded one, of, you know, the undermined. Exactly. Also, Nicoleta, yes, poverty is like an illness. Yes, yes. And that's why actually they were like that. Adriana, can you please switch off your microphone? So perfect. I will move on to the other one. I don't know which are the emotions that you evoke. I don't know if you have. What? I'm sorry. Okay. Actually, the emotions, as you can understand, has to do, if I may say, you know, again, with the perception that we have on disability. Okay. I will move on to the next slide. This has to do with the freak show. Probably, I don't know if you have also watched the film. I don't know if you know about that. Do you know what the freak show is? Let me see on the chat. Okay, no. Okay. Okay. The freak show is, for many, many years ago, you can see also the date, in 1656, to be honest, people with disabilities or with, you know, with some facial, for example, differences, they were exposed to the public, like in the circus, they were exposed and people actually were getting money out of it, like a show. It was the show of the freaks. So during the 15th century and also the 16th, to be honest, people with physical and mental disabilities were boarded onto ships and exhibited for money before being abandoned on far-flung ports. As you can see here, we have Lavinia Fontana, actually, because as you can see, she had hair in her face, and Nicoleta, se puoi, if you can switch off your microphone, please.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. And as you can see, for example, what I was saying, yes, she was exposed, and that's why Antonieta Gonzalez, what did actually painted her in order actually to show this peculiarity that these women had. Unfortunately, as you can understand here, as regards art in disability, always, unfortunately, all people with disabilities for many, many centuries were actually represented through art as being, you know, something peculiar, out of normal. Also, as you can understand, that they were, they have to be in a way normalized by people without disabilities. But to be honest, the freak show, as you can see also from the title, Power and Privilege, what actually succeeded to give these people, because some of them became celebrities, to give them some money and to help them survive. Not the majority of them, to be honest, were boarded on ships and exhibited for money and then being abandoned, but some of them, like Lavinia Fontana, became a celebrity and managed also to buy a house by herself. I will move on. I don't know if you know Diane and her freaks. I will show you. I'm talking about Diane Arbus, which actually, as you can see, she was one of the most important photographers that we have. She was also, you know, she gained many important, if I may say, contests, and she's well recognized. Arbus is not an artist who makes us see the world anew. She embeds us in our own limitation, our lack of empathy, our incuriosity and lack of concern. Hers is a world without horizon, where there is no escape from self. As you can see, she actually in the 60s and in the 70s started actually, you know, to take some pictures of people with disabilities in order just with a very cruel, if I may say, perspective, to show people, to show all of us how actually how we are, that we are not at all empathic, we are lacking of concern, and we want to have all these people hide. Actually, for her age, for her period, and also for being a woman photographer, she was one of the pioneers. Then I will go to body performance and post-human, what actually we do now, how we represent disability in art now. Do you know who is he? He's a very famous, actually. This is a portrait of who? Do you know who is it? Exactly, exactly. Do you know the artists?
No.
Okay. There are two brothers, actually, Jake and Dinos Chapman. This is the portrait of Stephen Hopkins. So this rejects actually idealism, labeled the most detestable, the most repellent, and the most pointless work of art by The Guardian. So I will show you two actually options. This lifelike 12-foot tall fiberglass sculpture depicts Hawking in his wheelchair on top of a rocky mountain. Although decried by The Guardian as crude and sarcastic, Art Monthly labeled it brilliant, and some disability rights scholars have defended it as an honest portrayal that captured the reality of both the subject and the artists. Because as you can see here in this actually artwork, what happened in this actually artwork, these two artists actually wanted to show the difficulty of being till today in the 21st century a person with a disability. So I want you, for all these webinars, if I may say, I want you to forget a term. Do you know what ableism is? Let's see. Ah, yes, Roxanne, perfect. Prejudice against, okay, disabled. Yes, perfect. So one term is, as you can understand, which is the new tendency in art now that actually is used. The modern artists, what they want to do, they want, as you can see, this is some types of ableism, institutional, interpersonal, when we are actually pointing a person with disability, internalized also. So ableism is defined in disability studies as discrimination in favor of able-bodied people. The ableist views able bodies as the norm in society, implying that people who have disabled bodies must strive to become that norm. So the disability is thus held as an error, a mistake, or a failing, rather than a simple consequence of human diversity. That means that disability is seen as a bad thing that must be overcome. So actually, we have a lot of provocative artists now, which are not actually provocative. They wanted actually this term to be forgotten. And as you saw in the artwork of Jake and Dinos, they actually want to point out the cruelty till today of our society, which actually till now adopt ableism in daily life and actually want to normalize till today people with disabilities. So thank you so much. That's all for me. I don't know, I will stop sharing and I will ask you if you have any questions. If you have, I don't know if you knew all this information. I will also ask you if it's possible. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Marta. Thank you so much. I will ask you if it's possible, just 2 minutes, if it's possible, just to fill in the evaluation form. You will find it here. Thank you, Enya. Thank you, all of you. I didn't want, to be in more details because we don't have a lot of time, and I wanted, a little bit to be more interactive with you. Thank you, all of you. Please do not forget. I will also send to all of you an evaluation questionnaire. Disability in art actually is changing now. They are not anymore, being defined, as you can understand, as people that are out of norm, that they have to be fixed and so on. I will also send you a detailed form as regards, for example, the disability literacy questionnaire, a more detailed one, if you want, to move on and check your knowledge, because actually I created a questionnaire of 20 questions, but I was thinking that it will be too much for you. So please, I will give you some time just to fill in the evaluation form. And I don't know if you have any comments, if you want something to mention, if, I don't know, just give me feedback. Or even you can switch on your cameras and have, a screenshot, all of us together. Or some of us. Now I can see Marta. I can picture the faces that were commenting. Okay. Can we have a screenshot? What do you think, Chiara? now that you can open again if you want your camera. Thanks. So I will have a screenshot with all of you, and I will thank you a lot, actually. Smile. Perfect. I will do another one. Now I see also Enya. Perfect. Okay. Ah, other people too. Okay, okay. So I will wait. Elena will wait. Okay, okay. Okay. Another one then. Okay. So I think that's all. I will also again send you again the questionnaire. Thank you so much. Thank you for being active, interactive, and not shy at all. And thank you for attending actually, you know, the course, the webinar.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia.
Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
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 Bye.